number one, wanted to talk about like what's up with like what I've seen recently on social media, like women, telling pregnant women to unalive their children, like if they're like maybe their baby daddy is acting up or if their baby daddy has left them or something like that. I just see like a lot of these young women's comments filled with women telling them that, oh, that couldn't be me. I would have went to the chop shop. I would have, taken that baby out. You should go ahead and do the same. I don't know if y'all have seen that. I think that's like so weird to tell a woman that is already, planned on keeping the baby to go ahead and get rid of it. I don't know how people don't think that's not rude. But I've been seeing it a lot lately. Like, and I think there's something wrong with doing that. Telling a woman that's already pregnant that she should get rid of her child, like, and she's playing. That's strange. Number two, want to talk about, do you think that it's possible to vet men at all? Do you think it's possible to recognize red flags in men and protect yourself? Or do you think that it's impossible if you're looking for a man, a partner, whatever, do you think that it is impossible to spot a bad man when you see one? Do you think that women have that capability to do so? Number three, I wanted to ask, do y'all think that it's possible or it's okay for women to have women-only spaces? Or bio women only spaces, more specifically. Do you think that's wrong? Do you think that's problematic? Number four, do you think that women in dating can have X preferences when it comes to orientation, like, sexual orientation and things like that? Do you think that women should be able to have preferences, or they should just be, basically they have to be open and accept any type of man of any orientation? Those are the four questions or four topics that I want to talk about. If anybody wants to join the live panel and answer the prompts and tell me what you think, doesn't matter if I agree or disagree, I'll still allow you to speak and say what you think about it. Yeah. So that's what I want to talk about. Go ahead, Stability.
Right. So for number three, can women have bio women only spaces? Is that wrong? Um, well, I don't think it's a wrong thing, but I don't like the woman who just made the female only gym. I don't like how she did that because I do know that like she like initially when she posted it before, I believe that she posted it was trans inclusive. But then it's like she switched it up. So then that kind of like confused me. And
Okay.
also like her supporters, like financial supporters, some of them were transgender. So then they didn't like that. But in other cases, I do think that bio women should have women only spaces if they want to.
Okay. Okay. I got what you're saying. Did you want to talk about any of the other ones, or was it just that one?
Um, no, it's just that one.
Okay. Yeah, I think I had heard that too. I had heard what you said, but I didn't do any like further deep research into it. So I can't say whether it's true or not, but I did hear what you said as well. And I do think that I agree with, like, that's the same thought of frame that I have that you have. I think if you said that it was going to include them, and if you took money from them and now you switch up the game and you say that now they can't be there, then yeah, that's a problem for me. Because why would you take their money? But I do think that bio women should be able to have their own spaces and things where it's just them if they want to. Because why in the world wouldn't we, the mothers of everybody, be able to say, "Hey, let's just have this just for us"? So I mean, I'm of the same thought of you. But like I said, I didn't want to speak on that because I don't know, because I didn't research deeply into whether she took money from them or not. You know what I mean? But if she
Right.
did, yeah, that's not right. That's not right. You can't do that. That's not right. Oh, did you have something else to say, Stability? I'm sorry.
No, that was it.
Okay, all right. Let me go here to let's see, who was this? Creepers, creepers. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
you can. I'm 18. I don't know if you need age or whatever.
Oh yeah, you can go ahead.
Um, do I can I only answer one, or like I can individually like answer
Oh,
each
you
one?
can answer whatever one you want to.
Okay. I'll answer number three first. Can women have bio women only spaces? Is that wrong? Absolutely not. I don't think that's wrong whatsoever. It's the same way if trans people wanted their own spaces, same way if men wanted their only spaces, if biological women, like, it doesn't matter. I think everyone can have their own spaces without discriminating against others. I don't support when it's for the purpose of discriminating against others. I do know people want to make certain groups to exclude others to make them feel like kind of like I don't know the word, but you get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, so I don't support that. I do support like groups that just want like I would support like men only spaces, they just want dudes there. And then trans only spaces, they only want trans women, trans men. You know, I'm in full support of that. Everyone should have their own spaces at times. You know, we are around each other so much, like in public and everywhere. I'm so sick of so many people. It's like there's nothing wrong with wanting to be around like people just like you or people with the same like ideas. Like if someone wants to be in an own space of people who only plays video games. Like, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Um, I was gonna address the first one. What's up with women telling pregnant women to unalive their children? Can you clarify that a bit? Like, I'm a little confused.
Oh yeah, sure. I it was this something I've been seeing like over the past few months is a little weird. It was like I see like women that may be pregnant and they may be a little ways pregnant where you like know they're pregnant and they might say like I'm having problems with my baby daddy or we broke up or something like that, and then all I see is their comments filled with women saying, "Oh girl, that couldn't be me. You need to go ahead and go to the chop and get rid of that baby. I wouldn't keep that baby. You should get rid of that baby." I saw one girl that was having problems. She was pregnant with her baby daddy. And I saw a woman literally make a stitch telling her all the ways and why she should go ahead and unalive her child. And I just was feeling like if these women are already planning on keeping a child, I don't know why you don't feel like that's out of pocket to tell someone it's already in process of keeping a child to go ahead and get rid of it. I respect the woman's right to choose and do whatever they want to do because at the end of the day, whether I agree or disagree, it's not my body, it's not my vagina. So I do what you will. You know what I'm saying? But
Hmm.
I just feel like telling a woman that's already pregnant and is decided to keep it to tell her to get rid of it is a special kind of nasty. You know what I mean? And I've seen it a lot now. And I just think that's so weird.
Yeah, I personally have never seen anything like that. And usually, those women who say those things to other pregnant women, I guess I try to relate to them in a way, but it's not like relatable. Like, I don't know how to explain it. They probably in their own lives have set themselves up for failure, so they go to other women to try to like quote unquote warn them, but all they're really doing is like giving these horrible advice. Like I find it so disgusting that other women would even try to do that. I do support other women coming to other women, be like, hey, like, there is many options for this, let's look at our options. But I do not believe it's kind of like really dirty behavior, and I don't like women like that. It's gross. It's like they think that unaliving or like getting rid of the baby is the only option. I mean, there's totally more options. I am pro-choice myself, but I don't support like slamming another woman. And this is exactly my problem. Is like people who don't support single mothers, cuz I come from a single mother home. Even though like my dad was here and supporting, she was still a single mother. So it was hard for her. So I understand the difficulty in choosing that choice, but I don't believe in like kind of misguiding people. I think it's really disingenuous. I think it's gross, and I think that behavior it shouldn't be tolerated whatsoever. And if you have a friend like that or know people who are like that, instead of them giving you real support and real love and not trying to hear you out and trying to look at other options, then that's not a real friend. You should get away from that woman.
Yeah. And I just wanted to say to the people in the comments, like, I'm so glad that y'all said that y'all see it because, like, I don't know if it's my FYP or what, but I've seen it a lot. And it's just like, I'm always flabbergasted when I see it. And matter of fact, I had a mutual with this girl. She had a lot of followers or whatever. And she literally made this whole video telling this girl, like, oh, you know what? You may be 6 months, but you may possibly be able to go such and such place to go ahead and unalive your child. And I commented under her post, like, why would you tell a woman that's 6 months pregnant all of these different ways for her to go to unalive her child when she's so far along, when she clearly don't want to do that? Like, you don't think that's weird for you to tell her that, and you're a mother, bro? Like, what's wrong with you, bro? She was so bad at me. Like, she blocked me. And I was like, first of all, I don't care what nobody say. If you do that at 6 months, you're a monster. Like, there's something mentally off with you, bro. And I will say it publicly. You're nuts. Like, once again, I respect your right to do whatever you want to do, but me personally, I'm going to think you're a psychopath. I'm sorry. I'm going to think you're nuts. And the fact that she was really just saying this with her whole chest to this lady, I was just like, you don't feel like that's crazy? Like, and I was just thinking, like, what? You know what I'm saying? Because I know that if there was a woman thinking about, not having a child, and I went and told her, like, hey, you should keep that baby. You should do this because, well, how dare you? How people would be looking at me like, now I'm crazy. Now I'm an oppressive lunatic that's trying to take away the rights of women and try to stop women from doing what they want to do and taking away their choices and their body autonomy. And which I would be doing that if I was to say that. But I don't understand why it's not in reverse. If you're doing that to women that's already decided they've made their choice, you're also doing the same thing. You're losing your mind. Like, you're what? But anyway, like I said, I'm just glad it's not just me, because I know I've seen it a lot, and it's like, I can't take it no more.
Yeah, like I'm pro-choice, and when I say I'm like pro-choice, I'm not saying like I'm pro-abortion. I just want to let that be known.
Oh, you can't say that word.
Oh, sorry, AB.
Yeah.
I'm not like supporting directly AB. I'm like at the 21 to 24 weeks mark, and after that, we should discuss more of the life like form, that like the baby that's like inside. Like I have a deadline of like when it's like, okay, 6 months is absolutely wild. That baby is already fully formed.
Yeah. I just all right, let me go down here to hey Kamisha, how you doing, sis? I'll go to you, Kamisha, and thanks a lot, creepers. I'll go down here to Kamisha and then Williams, I think. Go ahead, Kamisha.
Hey, how are you?
Pretty good. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. So I wanted to address the topic about women telling pregnant women to pretty much end their pregnancy. I really disagree with that as well. I have to say that the women that tell women to do that, those are those extremists. Those are the women who are like fully and totally against men, to the point where they're like, just make them all disappear, pretty much, and whatever you have to do to not, I guess, have to participate or be around men, just do it. I think those are the types of women that are saying those things, and I think it's very disgusting. Like, I'm pro-choice, most definitely, because I think that everybody should have an option to do what it is that they want to do. Sorry, just got in the car. But I think everybody should do what they want to do because it is their body, But at the same time, there is a fine line between, having morals and not. And I think that lacks morals. I mean, people who talk that way, they don't value children, I don't think, and I don't think that they value life itself, or anybody else's life but their own, and which is fine. You can choose yourself, but giving that type of advice is definitely bad advice, because women even being pregnant is just pretty much like a danger to our bodies in the first place, and then that late in your pregnancy, that will be that would be crazy. So it's just, I think that those types of women, like I said, they hate men that much to the point where they don't even see the wrong in their opinion on it. And as far as the second uh I guess choice in your prompt, can you vet men? um I think you can do all the vetting that you want, but I think that at the same time, it is that man's choice to either be a good person or not. So you can vet, and that person be a good person for over 3 years, 4 years, and still change and start making bad choices, keeping bad company, different things like that. Start desiring a different lifestyle, like even you got marriages that have failed because when the woman and the man got on hard times, the woman or the man became like gamblers, and they began to gamble away their life and their money. They can get caught up taking what men and women did in the 80s. you know like, so there's so many different things that you can do to vet, but at the end of the
You breaking up some, Kamisha?
yeah, that's what I was asking. Am I breaking up?
Yeah. You
Okay,
want me to
just
come back
just
to you?
hold. You can go to your next person. Yeah, come back to me.
Okay. Okay. All right. Let me go over here to Williams. Let me send you a mute you. Go ahead, Williams. Yeah, I think that's it. You there, Williams? CL205. I did send you a request to turn your mic on. Hopefully you could turn it on. Okay. All right. Well, Williams, I don't know. I'll give you like another couple minutes to be up here, and then I'll drop you it just in case, so you could come back up if you want. Yeah, but I think we were talking about like vetting men. I think that's what Kamisha was talking about. I don't know. Me and Kamisha might differ a little bit when it comes to vetting men, because I just feel like most of the time when a woman has encountered a man that has been on like some definite BS, I feel like 99% of the time there was something to alert that woman that he was capable of that beforehand, before she chose to get involved. But we as women, oftentimes people will try to tell us that, oh, we're being too picky, or oh, you know what, you're being too dramatic, girl, go ahead and give them a chance. They'll tell us all the ways that we have our intuition as women. They will tell us that that's not what we're feeling, when that is indeed what we're feeling. That is our woman's intuition warning us of a threat. And I really do believe that most of the time, like I said, 99% of the time when a black woman encounters a bad man, her body alerted her of that. She just chose to ignore it and give them a chance, or give them grace, or say, oh, maybe that's not what it is, or maybe I'm being too picky, or maybe the woman was desperate, or really wanted a man, or maybe she had intercourse with him and she felt like, oh, I've already invested my body, so let me stick around, or she was respectfully digmatized, or something like that. I think that most of the time, and that's including me as well, I'm not saying it's just other women, I'm including myself in this. I really do think that we as women take our power away and act like we don't really be knowing what's up. And I really believe that we do most of the time, like legitimately, like basically all the time. But 99%, you know what I'm saying? For the 1% of men that may be like, uh some type of special case. Williams, you there? You there or not? Williams, CL. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and drop you, Williams, and you could come back up. Yeah. And ABC, who said that in the comments, like honestly, like that's exactly the type of comments that I was saying. Is like, disgusting. Like, why would you even say something like that? Like, if you feel like you never mind. If you feel like you got to do that, then you should just keep your legs closed in the first place. Like, why am I pressed? Hold on, I'm not about to argue with you. You can get in the live box since you got a lot to say. Get in the box, please. And then you can say it with your chest. Other than that, it's just cowardice. You get what I'm saying? Because if you want to talk crazy, but you don't want to get in the box, what is that? Yeah, so what's the problem? Why are you in my live talking crazy? Do you
I
know me?
mean, I just like to talk crazy. I think I'm very blunt. I don't really
Oh, okay. Well,
see.
I'll tell you right now, don't talk crazy to me. I'm not your mama. I don't know you. So you gonna watch your mouth when you come in my box and in my comments. So if anybody should have did anything, they should have did that to you. Because clearly you don't know how to behave in society. So once again, what's your problem? Like, what's your problem? Why would you start getting crazy with somebody and get crazy with you? You think that's
Uh,
okay?
no, I apologize.
Thanks. Now have a great day. Go back to Satan's cavern where you came from. Go right back to Satan's cavern that you came from. Because you about to make me get ignorant and nasty. And I don't even want to be like that. Like, some of y'all be crazy. And then y'all be wondering why some people be calling y'all like extremists. Like, they'll be like, oh, don't have no babies by men because men are disgusting. Well, if you feel like men are disgusting, why are you having intercourse in the first place? You know what I'm saying? Like, get real. I didn't say anything about a woman having a choice. But let me block you because since I dropped you, I don't want to talk to you no more. So have a great day. Well, our conversation is over and done with. I'm not about to talk to you about nothing. Go ahead, Cookie. Hey, Trigger. Hi. I want to talk on the talking point as far as what's up with women telling pregnant women to unalive their children. I feel like that's because we're coming into a space where people don't really value children as humans. They don't really see them as people. They just feel like, with the whole everybody has a choice, because yes, that's true. Everybody does have a choice. But like you said, if you have a choice, you also have the choice to not engage in that act if you don't want children, because we know the only 100% way to not become a parent is to not enact in the physical act that makes children. And as far as can you vet men, yes, you can vet men, but the problem, I think that a lot of young women, and I'm speaking for myself mainly, is that we come across a lot of women who are pick me's, who tell you, to give men grace. So we're all kind of already function to give men grace. So, we get told, oh, like my whole pregnancy, I got told, you're so mean to him. And I wasn't being mean. That was my instincts coming out. And I'm like, nah, this is starting to give BS. But the more you start to clock the BS, you got the pick-me's in the back telling you, oh, no, he's so nice, you got to give him grace. And people think because a man isn't being physical, they think that that means he's being nice. And when I started to actually vet and realize it was too late, because a lot of men do wait until you're in that vulnerable position to be carrying their child to start really showing themselves. And, as young women, we have to start thinking with our brains and start realizing that future reference of what we should do before we get to that moment where we are becoming single parents and single mothers, because initially the ball gets dropped in our court to handle everything and do things properly. And then now in this day and age, everybody says that you have a choice, you have a choice. But in reality is, once you get to a certain term, you don't have a choice anymore. So it's like the choices we need to make are the choices we need to make before conception. So I agree as far as that, but I feel like we're coming into a new age where everybody feels like as soon as a man acts up, that's when it's delete his fetus. That's what they call it, delete his fetus, because they feel like if he's not on board or he's acting up, then the fetus is no longer viable. But I don't really feel that way. I feel like it's more of what you're willing to take as far as responsibilities, because unaliving your child is not an easy choice, and keeping your child isn't an easy choice. And I feel like the more we keep trying to make it seem like it's child play, the more people are not understanding how much our actions and our choices really affect us and our bodies as women.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with everything that you said, Cookie. I definitely think that you made a good point about people no longer seeing like children or babies as humans, like they've been completely dehumanized. And I don't know. I mean, I I just agree with everything that you said. I really do. And just like the girl that just came up here that I just dropped and blocked or whatever, just that type of weird entitled behavior. It's just like I find that people that are oftentimes in the liberal state of mind, which I wouldn't call myself liberal, but I wouldn't call myself conservative either. I'm just a mixture of everything. But I would just say that the people that talk the most about intolerance and people doing this, that, and the third and letting people be free, those be the biggest people that if you don't agree with them, they only mean be free if you think exactly how they think. If you don't think how they think and you
Exactly.
don't do what they want you
Exactly.
to do, then they don't want you to do nothing. You are the devil incarnate. And that's what I don't like. Cause don't tell me that you care about free and all y'all want to do is be able to live how you want. And then as soon as I say my piece, now all of a sudden it's shut up.
Yes, because when it comes to choices, they always feel like choices just means fetus deleters. They don't feel like choices means you
Exactly.
taking on the single motherhood. They feel like no, that's not a choice because you're being selfish. But is it not selfish to say, oh no, I'm no longer going to carry this to term because I'm not getting what I want or what I thought it should be? And it's not saying that, oh, you have to handle your responsibilities by making things hard for yourself, but it's like at some point you got to think about your actions and how it's going to affect your body, because just as much as bringing a child into this world takes a toll on your body, so does taking a child out of this world, out your body, takes a toll on your body. And I think they forget that when they're telling people just to, like, the way everybody told Hallie, for example, to not go forward, but also we're talking about how Halo is so smart and this, and that. But you guys were the same ones caping for her 6 months pregnant not to have this baby.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with you. Let me go down here to T and then Juggernaut. Go ahead, T. And then how you doing, sis?
Hey, I'm good. Hey, sisters. Yo, I don't know if I could come from that because my girl here basically beautifully explained it. She couldn't say it no better than me, probably better because sometimes I'm not the best at vocalizing myself, but the only thing I'm just gonna add on to it was basically I feel the same way. Like, I understand how women can look at that as an option, and I would never tell a woman what to do, like with her body. But the only thing I do explain to women, make sure this is a choice that you made. Don't feel pressured by anyone. You don't have no one have to talk you into it or talk you out of it. Make sure this is the decision that you want to make, because at the end of the day, you're going to have to carry the burden of your decision. I would never say a child is a burden, never, because I mean, I chose to have my child. Like, I chose this. That's why it will never be telling when we have these deep discussions about how women choose to be a single mother. Yes, I can honestly agree with that. Like, yes, I chose this. I chose this. I made a conscious decision. I knew what was going to happen having unprotected sex with this man. And there's nothing wrong with saying, I hate to say the word accountability, but at the end of the day, that is the stone cold, honest truth. Now, I'm not going to say pregnancy is not her fault necessarily. I would say the birth is definitely the choice on to the woman, and and I do also say to women, if you want to have a child because you want to have a child. Don't have a child because the man wanted the child. You're basically looking for him to validate your ovaries to be of use. Like, what? Like, his opinion shouldn't matter, because at the end of the day, you are the carrier of this child. Your opinion matters. Your choice matter. I would say to women, if you are going to choose to have a child by yourself, village.
You breaking up, T?
have
Is it T? I think you're breaking up. I didn't hear the
contingency
last thing
plans
that you
because
said.
Robin,
Yeah, you breaking up. I didn't hear the last couple things that you said. I didn't hear the last thing that you said.
did
You
you
was breaking up a little bit.
hear?
Yeah, your
I said
bars
this
are up, T.
every time what's the last thing you heard?
The last thing you said was
Yeah, this is I cannot stand this page. I have a problem when I'm on this
because
page.
you was talking about you wouldn't
Ugh.
tell another woman what to do with her body. And then it just started breaking up after that. But you got your bars up though. So let me go down here to Juggernaut until like you I guess you fix your connection.
Back because I can't hear you. I can't. Let me back. I understand.
Okay. Let me go down here to Juggernaut and then I'll go back up here to Cookie. Oh, and then after that I'll go back down to Kamisha. Go ahead, Juggernaut.
Stand this.
Yeah, I never would even remotely put any words in my mouth or to try to control a woman's body. If because she gonna know what she feeling herself before I would anyway. So whether you want to take it for a term or do an abortion, let that be your
You
own.
can't say that.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, thank you. I forgot. My bad. Let that be your own understanding. By your own understanding, not by nobody else. I get that. Because then it ain't no, if I'm doing something wrong or whatever, I want to be the person that I can only point to thinking it is myself. You know, I don't want to say I did this because of such and such pushed me. I want to be the problem of my own problem. You know what I mean?
Okay. All right,
Yeah.
Juggernaut. Okay, let me go up here to Cookie. Go ahead, Cookie. And then I'll go
Um,
down here to Kamisha.
Yes, I wanted to touch on what Coach T said because it's very important, like she said, with accountability, because I've found myself not really being triggered by that word because how a lot of people want black women specifically to hold accountability, but I do love the word accountability because it is just proof that people have to hold themselves accountable for it to actually hold notions. And the accountability people have to understand is that, like they said, if you're choosing to become a mother, you're actually choosing to become a single mother at some point, if that's what happened. I was not in the guides of being a single mother when I started my motherhood, but later on in the pregnancy I did realize that I will most likely be a single mother and I will have to be mothering this child, because I used to have to tell my child's father when I was pregnant, I can't baby you and the child. And the child has no choice but to be baby. But when you're dealing with a lot of black men, you deal with them wanting to be coddled and them wanting to be treated like newborns. So then it becomes the choice of your child being babied or the man being babied, or you draining yourself trying to keep everybody in a baby role, when, the accountability a lot of black women have to take is that we're going to have to choose the children over the grown men, to be accountable for ourselves and our choices so that our children can make better choices, so that they can be accountable for themselves without people having to tell them to be accountable.
Can
Yeah,
you hear me
I
better
definitely.
now?
Yeah, I can hear you
I'm
better now.
sorry. Yeah, I didn't mean to cut in. I'm so sorry. But yeah,
No, you go ahead.
also like what she said, I agree with that. Like it was almost the same thing with me. Like, me and him even discussed, like, basically we even talked before I even got pregnant, because honestly speaking, ladies, I do not lay down with a man unless I have a thought in my mind that he will be the father of my child. That's why if you even look at the amount of men I slept with, my not to be funny, like my body count is low, because I was thinking about, if I'm going to sleep with a man, he could possibly be a father of my child. So I had to be, that shit. I mean, so I was, you know being said, We even discussed this, like basically we was playing, because it was a discussion that we had that, okay, we know what we doing.
Yeah, yeah. T, you're cutting in and out again. I don't hear you right now.
With a woman that will keep the child she get pregnant. And then he said, oh, okay, well, I guess, and if that ever happens, we'll just get married and stuff like that. First, I didn't take him seriously until I actually got pregnant. And then, he actually followed through with the proposal. I didn't go with the marriage because no, that was a nightmare. That was a whole nightmare about to unravel. And just like my sister right here did, you just cut out. I just cut out. Like, I was like, you good right where you at. And so funny, even at that time, like my husband today was still around at that time. He knows for a fact that, like, that's not his. We didn't even have sexual intercourse at that time. So, I already had like people, by my side. And that's the only thing I do tell women is that, do you have a village? Do you have people that will be there to support you? Because the last thing you want is to have a newborn and you're struggling. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only thing I do tell women. And another part, when I do tell women, if they are going to have a smush, it's not as easy as you think it is, because you can have smush and PTSD. You can probably regret your decision, and now you can't take it back, and then now you're going to be probably in the grieving stage for years. So please be very be knowledge, I like you said, I don't like, honestly speaking, they don't like to be honest when they talk about shmishmoshin and the effect that it has on the body and the effect that it has on the woman's psyche. It's like, I did research and I did not know until I found out the body still thinks that it's pregnant. The woman body still believes that it's pregnant. That's the part they do not tell the women. And I do feel like that is doing a disservice when you don't tell the fetus, just fetus delete us, this fetus delete us. And then even goes gaslighting science by saying, oh, the fetus is not alive, it's just a blood clot, it's not a human being. I do believe life starts at conception, and I do believe if you terminate the fetus, it is, it's unalive in it, and that's just the cold honest truth about it. If we're going to talk like adults, and we're not going to be around the bush, around and sugarcoat it, because I like telling women the absolute cold honest truth. And so I would never just be so quick to tell the woman to just make the decision, but just be conscious and aware. If you want this man in your life, he's going to bring you hell. So we can make moves that he can't, even though people say probably my route is probably extreme. Like, I'll say stuff like, don't put him on a birth certificate. Child support may not even be worth it, because now you got this man can legally use your child as a pawn. And if you love your child, you would not allow that to happen. So please be careful what you're doing. And so that's my only contributing to helping a woman when it comes to that. And when it comes to vetting a man, it's really no stone cold bulletproof man, honestly speaking. That's just the journey of the individual woman. I'm gonna keep it a buck. The way I vetted my husband is different how the way Trigger vetted her husband, is how Sage vetted her husband. We all have our own vetting process for the men that we are choosing. For me, I knew my husband since 2017. I knew him for a very, very, very long time. You know what I'm saying? So, and I seen him at his worst, I seen him at his best, and then even he was even
You breaking up a lot, T.
like what I meant.
Like a lot. You got your bars up.
Married. I'm trying to make a long story short.
You breaking up, T?
T, you're breaking up.
Yeah. Hey, T.
Okay.
Yeah, y'all add T in the comments.
Hurry up.
T, you breaking up.
Yeah.
You breaking up still. You got your bar up. Like, I hear some of it, but I don't hear all of it.
Okay, I wanna speak on the
hold
topic.
on, Sage. I gotta go down there to Kamisha. She been waiting.
Oh, Kamisha? Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead, Kamisha.
And then I go up there to say,
Hey,
hey.
so I had so much to say, but it's cool. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with what she said though about how the men, how they change once you have a baby, because they want that attention that that the woman is giving the baby. And when they start to notice, it's just like a child when you get on the phone and the child want to act up, while you're on the phone. It's pretty much that's what they're doing. And when they see that all that attention is going on the baby, that is when they really do start to show their true colors. And I have had that experience, and you can see it in their face, you can see it in their eyes, and you can hear the men, they talk about it all the time. How after the baby, the relationship change. She don't do this no more, she don't do that no more, instead of them stepping up and filling in those spaces that the woman, the holes in the relationship, and doing more. They start doing less and less and less and less, and then there you go, now you're a single mother, and an ex-wife, or just ex-girl, baby mama, however you want to call it. And I think that instead of us telling them to in the pregnancy, we need to start just telling women, get yourself prepared. If you have to, get a job, find you some people that can help you with your child, do whatever you need to do. But the choice should never be to tell somebody. That should be their option, and that should be something that they bring to you. I would never bring that to somebody and say, well, have you ever thought about ending it? Like, I would never, to me, that's like you're getting into their business, and let them make the choice. And if they make the choice, fine, you can help them from that point on. But yeah, I just don't agree with telling women to just end something, because children are beautiful. And the more you become a mother, the deeper you get into being a mother, I cannot see how a person can not love their child or not want to have the child. And at that point, you've already made connections, because around 6 months, even 4 months, like, you're singing to your baby, reading books, and you're doing so many different things. And then you get the compliments, because people are like, you're glowing, you look beautiful, and all of those different things. So, like, all of it, there are benefits to having a baby. People always go straight to the extreme. Like, yes, I'm a single mother, but at the same time, I can say that I would have preferred being a single mother than being with the men that I chose to have children with. I would most definitely, I wouldn't change anything, because at the end of the day, I've seen single mothers and what they go through when they're trying to have the man or I won't even say they're forcing the man, but they're forcing that man's love on the child. And those children have they have the hardest time trying to navigate this world, because they got one parent that's consistent, and then they got another parent that's in and out, in and out, in and out. So what I would suggest is, do not force, if you end up being a single mother, do not force that child to love that father, and do not force that father to be a father, because that affects the child the most, because they're just dealing with disappointment after disappointment after disappointment. My two oldest children, they did great without their father. They did great. One is in college, the other one is working a good job, he's in management. So it's like, okay, and they don't have that heartbreak that I see a lot of kids grow up with. They're not dealing with that heartbreak, like, why don't my dad love me? And they're not dealing with that. And I'm not saying that there aren't other people who are single mothers and their father wasn't around. I mean, the child's father wasn't around and they didn't have any issues. But I'm saying that just means that we as women, when we become single mothers, we have to step it all the way up. You can't just half do it. You got to step it up. And yeah, you're gonna neglect some things and things like that. But at the end of the day, you got to go into overtime at that point for your children. So I think that if enough people, gather together, enough women gather together, enough single mothers, and you don't even have to be a single mother, but enough women come together and help a lot of these women, they won't have that, they won't be so fearful of, what's going to happen if I choose the baby. So that's all
Okay.
I want to say.
All right. All right. Kamisha. Now, I think I had actually Coach T was up first before Sage. I can't quite remember, but I think so. So I'm gonna Coach
Sage
T.
was Sage was before me.
Was Sage before you? Okay, okay. Go ahead, Sage. I'm sorry.
I'm going to speak to the first question. I'm going to be as brief as possible. It says, what's up with women telling pregnant women to unalive their children? It's because they don't care. It's because they don't care. And they'll sit there and they will end the pregnancy. I'm using TikTok friendly language here because they don't care. They don't care if about the
Hey,
nuances.
Sage,
Uh-huh.
can I ask you a question? Have you
Uh-huh.
seen this? Because I made sure I asked the ladies earlier, but it was before you guys had joined, most of you. Have y'all seen people doing that in the comments on
Yes,
TikTok?
yes,
Okay,
yes,
because it was
yes.
some women that tried to come up on the other, what I did on my other page, and gaslight me and say that don't be happening.
No,
And
it,
I was
it
like,
does
yes, it
happen. They
do.
even be making videos laughing and joking about how they're not pregnant anymore and how he said he didn't want the
Okay, all
baby.
right.
But
Go ahead, sis. I just to make sure.
you're not crazy, but I promise you, that's not going to stop them from going and laying up with another man and doing the same thing, rinse and repeat. That's not going to stop them from getting another dude who's not married to them and rinse and repeating the process. Because I have very strong opinions when it comes to terminating pregnancy. And one of the issues that I have, and I'm going to try to keep this brief because I want to speak to some things that T said, is that when I talk to these women who make these comments and statements, I explain to them, listen, you don't got to put that man on the birth certificate, and you could leave the baby at the hospital, or you could just have the baby be adopted out, or they actually have adoption services where you could choose where the baby could go. But a lot of what it boils down to is they just don't want to have to go through the pregnancy. And the way I see it is, if you're going to be sit up here as an adult, I'm not talking about anybody under the age of 18. I'm not talking about children. I'm not talking about women who are victims of crimes or health issues or anything like that. I'm talking about you grown women who get with these guys. You're not married to them. You're making a conscious decision to lay down with them. And you're completely aware that if he doesn't want that child, you don't care at all if it's a living being, if it's going to suffer or anything of that nature. You only care about your needs with that particular man. And far as I'm concerned, it's very pick-me-ish to put your health and safety and body at risk, especially the life and safety of a preborn child at risk, all just because you want to be around a man. Because you know that if you're not sleeping with that man, he's not going to stick around. You know that. So that's why a lot of these girls do it. And they're just going to do the thing. You're just going to do a rinse and repeat. They might be a little bit more careful, but if they get pregnant again, they're just going to do it all over again. Because when they're that dismissive about terminating a pregnancy, and then a lot of them try to argue, oh, it's a fetus, it's not human. I'm like, first of all, let me clear something up here. Per science, anything that is not alive cannot grow and develop. So one, it is alive, and two, it is human. You're just at an earlier stage of development. And this is based off of the study of embryology. And the only reason why I know this is because I have researched and I have looked into these things. So when I get into the debates with these women, I sit up here and I'm just like, you cannot sit up here and tell me that it is morally right for you to do this. And I'm not saying that there aren't messed up circumstances, but to me, the morally right and adult thing to do, if you're going to be out here playing with your health, playing with your safety, and terminating pregnancies, and I'm just saying terminating pregnancies because of TikTok. You just need to be an adult and make the best decision for that child, even if it's not for you. I'm not saying it's going to be an easy decision, But I'm not going to sit up here and advise a girl to terminate her pregnancy. I'm just going to give her all her options. And that's between her and God on Judgment Day. I told you what happens during pregnancy and what your options are. But chances are they're just going to go and do the exact same thing again, get pregnant again. Because a lot of girls that I know who've had to terminate pregnancies, they've had to do it more than once with dudes that they're not married to who don't do nothing for them. And yeah, but I land there.
All right, Sage. Okay, so I'm gonna go over here to Coach D. Go ahead, Coach D.
Hey, Triggered. Hey, ladies. Hey,
Hey.
everybody. Thanks as always for having this space, Trigger. You always have some good topics and get us talking and thinking about this stuff. I wanted to talk specifically to number 2 about can you vet men and talking about red flags. So I love true crime. I think we can say crime, right? I love true crime. And so I watch a lot of like like profiler videos and stuff like that where they talk about, how can you spot like sociopathic behavior, psychopathic behavior, like different understanding the different nuances of the human behavior, specifically when it comes to like men who commit like those types of crimes that we're talking, like, multiple unalivings and serial essays and things like that. And so the main thing that I glean from that and how I apply it to my life is, especially when we're talking about like women and dating, is you don't necessarily vet a man, you build a profile on him. Over time, you have to slowly collect information. You have to watch and observe. You have to give him opportunities to show you who he is. And when he shows you, you have to believe him. And I think a lot of the problem with women and relationships, especially when it comes to like number one and being impregnated by and continuing bloodlines that don't need to be continued, is that we as women, and I am guilty of this, is not giving ourselves enough time to build a profile on somebody. Even when it comes to dating, even with friendships too. Give yourself time to see who this person is, observe them in different circumstances and environments, like have real conversations with them and observe and really pay attention. Part of this for me especially is because I'm somebody who, like, I'll text all day, but talking on the phone just drains me. But when it comes to dating, you have to talk to them on the phone. You have to hear how they put a sentence together. You have to talk to them in person. A lot of communication is nonverbal. Watch how their eyes shift. Watch their body language. Observe how you feel when they say something to you, or like when they talk, and learn their tales. Like, it's all different. It's all different kinds of aspects. But yeah, when it comes to number 2, like vetting, don't vet, build a profile. It needs to be a dynamic process. Vetting is static. Oh, I'm just going to look at your past and see, what you've been up to in your past. And I'll see, that's enough for me. I'm going to run a credit check. And that's enough. No, you need to be always consistently watching, observing, and seeing how he moves in his day-to-day life with you and with other people. And give yourself time to do that. The key here is over time. You have to, I think women, we got to slow down.
Yeah, I mean, I think that that was actually very eloquently put what you said. I think that's great, and I think that slowing down is so good, because I remember that I don't know if y'all remember that horrific story of, it was like this black woman, she knew this white man for like 1 week, and she let him move in with her, and then she went to work and let him watch her 3-year-old daughter, and he like raped the baby and unalived the baby.
No, I did not hear that story.
Yeah, like he raped the baby, made the baby take medications to like to put her out, and he basically raped her to unaliving, and then tried to like wipe her. They said that he wiped her so hard with like these bleach wipes that he rubbed her melanin off and put some inside of her and all of these other horrific things. And I was just thinking to myself, like, what the is your problem, ma'am? Are you that desperate and thirsty that you would sit there
and let some weird white man who clearly looked like he looked like exactly what he did, okay, that you let him just move in and stay with you. Are you crazy? And it's not like it's not black men that do this, it's black men that do the same thing. Like any man, you're crazy for letting him move in after a week and be around your baby, your innocent baby, because these men are preying on women and with children because they want to do exactly what he did. But anyway, if anybody knows the story, remember the story, that man wasn't even
I
30 days
remember.
into his sentence before somebody unalived him in the cell. He is gone. Somebody unalived him at prison. So, and that's, I'm so happy. May he rest in peace. But yeah, so I definitely agree with you and what you said about slowing down and taking your time and building a profile, and all of that stuff is completely on point. But let me go down here so these other two women can get a chance to speak. First is Jan, and then the second one is Joker. Go ahead, Jan.
That story was wild. Like a few weeks beyond
Yes.
someone is crazy. But I agree, you definitely have to vet people and not just in the superficial sense that you're like, oh, I just met this person, I'm gonna look around, but like actually get to know them, like who are their family, their friends. Because they said, show me who your friends are, I can tell you who you are. So I'm kind of on the same page too. Vetting the person, taking your time, you're in no rush, making sure there's someone who can be trusted around just you alone, not just you alone, but people you're going to bring around them too. Because people play crazy games these days for people. There's so much at stake now, especially with the way everything is going these days in dating.
Okay. All right. All right, Jan. Okay, let me go down here to Joker.
Hey y'all.
Hey.
I ain't gonna hold you. I all that dating bullshit, like yo, for real. Man, kick that shit to the curb. First of all, if we spent more time doing, self-reflections, right? Because when you self-reflect, you literally get to know the person that you are. And in that, realm, you are able to also determine for yourself what it is that you're looking for, right? Because what a lot of us don't have is standards and boundaries. We out here and we, you know what I'm saying, we checking all the boxes, we pulling shit up on the internet and everything else. But if you got standards and boundaries, then you got to go through all that shit. Because the second that you feel like something is
Try
off,
not to cuss too much
oh,
for the.
I'm sorry, Trigger.
That's okay.
I'm sorry, Mama. So, we spend so much time, going in trying to delve into people. But if I have my standards, I know who I am, I've got my standards and I've got my boundaries, it really doesn't matter, because the second them red flags, now I will see those red flags. I'll see those like very, very minor red flags, i.e., when they say certain things. And then, getting used to cutting people off, even if they seem like they could be the quote unquote perfect match. Because a lot of times, we'll ignore a lot of the minor, because, you'll have some guys that check all the boxes. Right? And I mean, check everything. All right, took him out to dinner. He don't smack. He has good rapport with the servers. He's emotionally regulated and everything else. Because I ain't gonna lie, we spent so much time telling men what we want, that a lot of them have now picked it up and curated it into where they, they're now using our own words against us, right? They're like, oh, that's what you're looking for. That's what you want. All right, cool. Thank you very much. You gave me the guidelines to you, and that's what I'm going to be. So it's literally getting used to, you see a man, he might be the perfect match. Everybody telling you, ooh, girl, yeah, that's him, that's him. You looking at him, yeah, that's him or whatever. He fits everything, checked all the boxes. But it's still something that's nagging me about him. So you know what? And you're blocked. You know what I'm saying? Listening to the small things that they say in those conversations or whatever. But when you have your standards and your boundaries, hey, you ain't got those things right there, because you're not going to sit here and just choose out of desperation. And I hate that for a lot of us, that as women, a lot of us are dating out of desperation. We have that scarcity mindset. And what I really hate is that women perpetuate it against other women. Like hearing a man tell you that there ain't no, you getting older and everything else, like don't even make no sense. But our mamas perpetuated against us, our sisters, the women that we find community with, right? Because they'll say little things like, girl, dang, you still single? Girl, you 35 years old. When you about to have a baby?
I want to be a grandmama soon, baby. I mean, dang, not nobody. So we start taking on societal pressures and everything else, and then we run with it, and then we literally skip over things that we shouldn't be skipping over because we want to so bad have a man and have a freaking companion when it comes down to it, and that's just freaking mad crazy. And that's why, I'll just be like, ladies, and I do agree with the whole slow down, right? Like, baby girl, these men not going nowhere, right? All the good men are not taken. All the good men are not part of the LGBTQIA. They're not GAY. All the good men are not in jail, right? And I get it. There's a lot of boo-boo in the pool. And, for some of us, they be like, I just don't want to wade through it. So I'm going to pick the first thing that looks like it's glittering like gold out of the boo-boo. And I didn't even understand that was iron pyrite. And you know what I'm saying? So basically it's fool's gold. And that's what I decided to do. I think it is a bit... Getting so involved into another woman's body that's problematic to me. While I don't believe it's mismortions, right? I'm not here to tell nobody, what they can and can't do. But I am more so concerned about talking to women and getting them before we get to using mismortions as a form of birth control, right? And having those conversations about, baby girl, you had one. I mean, dang, this is the second time. What didn't click after the first time? What was going on after the first time? And now here we are again. And if we on our third and our fourth and our fifth, and some of them be on their 10th and 20th trip, which is mad freaking crazy or whatever. But I am more concerned about getting to women and trying to, get us out of this daggone mammy and all of that other be.
I think Joe, you got
I'm
a phone
sorry.
call. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Bob. But just to, just to sum this up real quick, when it comes down to Smith's motions or whatever, like I said, I am more concerned about talking to women and preventative measures. And I'm not going to reach everybody, and I understand that. But I'm not going to judge nobody either. If she didn't had 8, 9, 10, and I do know some people, hey, baby, they was out there yeetus the fetus like all times. And each and every time. And I'm like, dang, that's like freaking wild. But I'm not here to judge nobody because I feel like I can make a better difference in doing prevention measures and, talking with people and getting down to the, nitty gritty and the root of it. And, again, if they're so male centered, that they're willing to, hashtag put themselves almost into a body bag, trying to yeetus the fetus or whatever, then, that's something to me that just needs to be talked about. And I just really, really feel like that's where I am, more concerned at in doing that. And I don't think it's wrong. Okay. And I don't know if it's wrong. I'm not going to say that it's wrong.
I'll give you another minute. I'll give you another minute, Joker.
I'm done now, Mama. I got you. I'm done on that. I was going to answer the whole thing, but
okay,
I'm done on that.
All right.
I got you.
Okay, all right. I appreciate you, Joker. Yep. And it's always good to hear from you. All of you ladies, are very intelligent and stuff. And I don't disagree with anything that you guys are saying. I think I probably pretty much feel the same way. I think that women should have the right to do whatever they want to do. Like whether I necessarily, even if I don't necessarily agree with it, but I do think it's problematic when, you're making a decision and you're using that as a form of birth control, and for the women, because I've noticed there's also another subset of women that will say like, well, the reason why they're doing that is because why would they want to, bring a child into the world or give a child to a man, and because men are so, disgusting and things of that nature. But I feel like if men are that disgusting that you wouldn't want to have a child by them, then why in the world are you letting them inside your womb and inside you in the first place? Like that you need to check and figure out why you're doing that. You shouldn't be letting a man touch you, period, then. Because I know if I think you're gross and trifling and you're not worthy of me extending your line, then you ain't worthy of being around me, period. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, roses are on Amazon for about $20. Like like if you got the Amazon Prime free shipping next day, you could get that next day. So what are you doing? And that's a guaranteed never mind, let me stop. Y'all know what I'm saying. That's guaranteed. You don't gotta. All right, good. Go ahead, T. I think T wanted to say something. Then after that, it'll be open panel. Whatever you guys want to say. Don't know.
Y'all hear me?
Yeah, I
It
can hear
was
you, T.
yeah, it was something in my head that I was gonna say that it's sad that that became a birth control for some women. Only thing I will say is this, like, you know, if people really want to help, like, you know, society or whatever, these doctors, like, everybody want to tell women, like, don't get no more smortions or don't get a smortion, but then don't give women the option to tie their tubes. It's really, really hard for women to tie their tubes. And there's women out here that don't want children. They just don't. But I am on that side of saying, I mean, if you don't want a kid, there's one way you won't have a kid if you don't have smecks. But like I always say, who am I to no one deem me the queen of women's bodies? You know, so I don't like to tell women what to do with their bodies. If anything, I like to like let them know that, you know, like you said, like what Joker said, there's preventions, there's ways you can, you like, you know, you don't have to even engage with some of these men. Why don't you try, if you could, can you, is it possible you can sleep with the man that treats you the best versus sleeping with a man that you know you're not going to have his child? You know what I'm saying? Because there is still a risk there. You know, what gets me is when, like, it's one thing women haven't had a smishmush and I'm like, okay, fine, and then you sleep with that same man. I always said, I said, now that's when I come in and tell, like, you know, women that I've known, I say, you had a smishmotion with this man. May I ask, why are you still with him? Because if he wasn't, you know, don't sleep with him no more. Like, you had a smishmotion, you got out clean. Why lay down with this man? He could put you in that position again. I know couples that had smushmotions, and that's part of the statistics that a lot of people don't like to mention. A lot of these women are not single by themselves. A lot of them in monogamous relationships. Some of them are even married. Some of them are married to these men, and they go and get smishmotion because the husband said, I don't want no more kids, instead of him getting a vasectomy or her tying her tubes, you know. But then again, if my husband ever say something like that to me, I'm just cutting out. I'm just leaving, you know. And you know, another part that we like,
Yes,
you know,
I
I like to
understand.
mention, and bring to light, a lot of these men do be coercing and forcing women to go to the smishmortion. A lot of these women do feel like they having a, like, you know, not to sound funny, like a pew pew to their head going to the clinic. You know, they really feel that pressure. It was a YouTube video that I seen that a woman was talking about how her baby's father literally forced her to go. No, did he beat her up? Did he pull her by the neck and pushed her in there? No. But what he did was argued her down and broke her down spiritually, mentally, to the point she felt like, I had to do this. And on her way over there, she's crying. Ooh, what was that? Oh, I thought it was some dude, because I'm not looking at the phone. I thought some dude was talking and I was about to curse him out. Sorry. You know, and she was crying on her way there, you know. And a lot of these women, it wasn't their, like, they didn't choose to do that. They were forced, you know. And I like to, like, have, like, when we have this conversation, I like to be sensitive to all of those possibilities, all of those reasonings. You know what I'm saying? It's not just the women were being reckless. A lot of these women are in relationships. A lot of these women are forced. A lot of these women literally are in circumstances that they feel like, I don't know what to do. I can't do this again. Or some, just like the girl, like the woman, like the viral video that was going around, even though it was a stitch, that she was crying that she got pregnant, and she's saying, I'm already taking care of 2 kids. I cannot have no more kids. I don't even want the 2 that I want. And how the guy is sitting there recording her saying, well, it's all right, you're just gonna be a mother. It's easier for you to say, bro, because you obviously not helping. She's doing all the work. So her being pregnant is a nightmare for her, and she don't want no more kids. But of course we will penalize her and say, well, then why are you there? You know, some women do not want to be a single mother, and they feel like they have to stay with the guy to not feel the shame, to not be humiliated. and not to be, not like I said, like, because that almost happened. I was this close to marrying my son's father just to say that I'm married with a child. Just to say that. Just to say that. Had nothing to do with love. Had nothing to do with any of those things. It was just because so I can avoid, at least avoid my child having shame, being called like, like a bastard and stuff like that. That's what I was avoiding, thinking about my child. I wasn't thinking about him and me and him loving together. No, not at all. I would have handed his divorce papers by the time my baby turned 18, off to college, sign the divorce papers. I'm moving out. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I'm just gonna
See,
say.
I had a question for you. You had, when the last time you and I spoke, you had put up a picture or whatever, and I saw it, and then it was about like, I guess like women and them having like preferences on orientation. And I'm gonna use my words carefully. So you know what I'm talking about?
A picture
Like
that I
you
put
had,
up?
it was like a picture. Yeah, you had a picture. I think it was like a picture of like different men and their different orientations or whatever. And it was like,
Oh, okay. Do you mean the picture I post on my page?
yeah.
Oh, okay. What's up?
So,
All
so
that
I
too.
see, so I saw somebody make a live about that, right? And
Damn.
all I saw was, it was like a whole lot of black women on there saying that, if you're a black woman and you are not open to dating any type of man, then you're discriminatory, right? Like, and it was the same, it was a lot of the usual suspects there. But I was just thinking to myself, like, it's funny how those type of conversations, like number four, they can be had as long as they're had in the way that people want them to be had, if that makes sense. You know? And I just wanted to say in a public platform that, just like we're talking about women and their rights to choose and do whatever they want, but there's positives and negatives, with whatever you choose to do with yourself. It's also positives and negatives in the type of men that you choose to associate yourself with. And that's the reason why it's always a good thing for women to be able to choose whoever they want to without fear of shame, without people trying. You know what I'm saying?
Notice they never go over to predominantly male spaces and do that. They always do that in women's spaces. Like they never go to the men that they want to date. They never go to the red pill side and try to force that on them. They only try to do it to us women. And you also notice that it's never women who are transitioning into men that ever cause a problem. Notice how it's only men that are transitioning into women that cause a problem. If I'm understanding the context of the conversation correctly, because
Right.
I typically don't say anything about that because I do have someone I'm close to that has had my back. And so I try to not say anything. They're an atheist and I am a Christian. So it's just certain things we don't talk about. But I just want you all to know that those people who are transitioning from male into a woman, they don't have the support that they think that they have. Like oftentimes what they do is they only know how to intimidate. But the problem is they are intimidating the demographic and group of women that are actually empathetic and sympathetic to their cause. And when they sit there and they intimidate the women who are actually sympathetic and empathetic to their cause, they alienate their supporters. So they can't accept the fact that even though we are supportive of you living your life however you choose to live, well, I am, there are certain things that we are not going to be in agreement on, and they can't seem to handle the fact that we don't 100% agree. So what they only know how to do is go into attack mode and send threats and host lives and harass, and all that's doing is making the situation worse and alienating more support. And they don't realize that it's more women that are not on their side than women who are actually on their side. I promise you all, they don't have the support that they think that they have from women. And I land there.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's jealousy as well. That's why they come and they know that they are never gonna be, what biological women are. They know that. So they want to force that inclusion. And I'm all for them making whatever choice they want to make to be whatever they want to be. But don't force yourself into the arena with us and try to make us feel smaller, because now you're still reminding me of what you're trying to hide that you are, or what you're trying to escape that you are. You're still showing me like similarities of a man. At that point, you're still being entitled, like you're entitled to be in our spaces, and I feel like that's why they also come in, and they still see us as women. So them knowing us as women, and them still, they were raised as men, so
Um,
since they were raised as men, they'll, they're going to still have some of the ways that men have, and they're going to still see us the same way and not value us the same way that normal men, value us, and I'll land there
okay.
too.
All right, you guys. I didn't hear exactly how we got from this part because I had to tinkle y'all. Sorry about that. So but I think I heard Sage saying something, but I just heard the tail end of what Kamisha was saying. So I just wanted y'all to know that I'm sorry that I'm not contributing to the conversation because I didn't hear everything. But
I
I'm gonna
gave a
go.
whole word too. I gave a whole spirit-filled eulogy.
Oh my
Girl,
goodness.
you missed that. You missed the spirit-filled eulogy.
Um, yeah, I
Oh,
think you're right.
I'm
Scheduling is a
sorry. I'm
great
sorry. I didn't want to
opportunity to,
because somebody
dibble
was
and dabble and
talking.
learn a little bit of everything. And I like project controls because it fits me, it fits my lifestyle, it fits my personality, it's laid back. I basically am paid very well to do what I've always done, just in a different industry. Like I've always done this. I've always done spreadsheets. I've always done reports. I've always,
I think you're
I have to answer
unmuted.
emails
I
every so
think
often. Like
yeah. I
something
think
will
she
come
doesn't
up
need. I
that
think
I
Yeah,
she.
have
you
to
gotta
like
mute
pay
her.
attention
Yeah,
to,
I
and
think you gotta
like
just
Yeah,
mute
I
her.
know. I'm about
a
to do it right
supervisor
now.
needed me to look up something for her
I tried to
earlier this
mute her.
afternoon that I had to get back with her right
I think
away,
I'm a
but
dropper.
that doesn't happen too often.
I'm a dropper, and then she can come back up because I don't think that she was aware that I don't think she was aware that she was speaking or that
Yeah,
she was
that was
unmuted.
what
Yeah,
I
because
found funny
I
when
was like,
people.
she was talking about spreadsheets, and I was like, I don't. Wait a minute, what this got to do with spreadsheets? But then I was like, oh snap! I don't think that she knows that she's unmuted. But anyway, I'm gonna go down here to Leah, and then I'm gonna address what y'all was saying because
Love
like I
was
said, I
waiting.
didn't hear
I
it all.
think Jane Love was waiting.
Oh, I think I'm gonna go to Leah first because
Yeah.
she hadn't had a chance to speak at
Yeah.
all because I just let her up. Then I'll go to Jan. Go ahead, Leah, if you're there.
Oh, yes, I'm here. Good afternoon.
Hey,
Are we answering all of your all of the prompts, or are we just staying on one?
it's whatever you want to answer. It's okay, whatever you choose to answer is fine.
Okay. Um, the what's up with women telling pregnant women to unalive their children? I haven't heard of. Are you referring to like if they're like with somebody abusive and they're
Like okay.
pregnant?
Yeah, like I'll see like if a woman is pregnant and she may say like, "Hey, I'm having problems with my baby daddy," or now that I got pregnant, he's starting to act up or something like that. Then I'll see women say, "Hey, you need to go ahead and get rid of that baby. You need to go to the chop shop and stuff like that."
Chop shop. um, you know, I feel some type of way about that, honestly. I do feel like, okay, if you do decide to unalive your child, that's a mental thing that you have to decide for yourself if you want to even, go through. But I also think that, understand that there's some things you're gonna be fortunate to miss out on. If he's already tripping, then this is pretty much, you have to just know, unfortunately, this is not something that really should be like normalized to say, but you have to decide to think for yourself. Are you ready to take care of a child alone without the support of a man that you made the baby with, or are you wanting a family, like with a man who wants to be with you and wants the baby and is treating you right entirely? And unfortunately, women who choose to go the route of, yes, I want the family, even though this man is tripping on me, I do feel like they end up being resentful towards the children, towards herself, towards her life. I do think that there's some sort of regret that can form, and some sort of like a lash outness that could happen potentially. But then again, some women can handle that differently. Some women may feel like, okay, as long as I stay busy, as long as I do some classes, as long as I take, do things with my child, as long as I embrace this, I'll be okay. Some women think entirely differently. But I think the moment that it gets tough, it's possible you'll more than likely have some sort of like resentment or some sort of regret, in a way, not towards the child, but towards maybe the father and the timing that you had it, because you're going to always love your kid, especially if you love yourself. The part two, can you vet men? Let's talk red flags. I think the more I've gotten older, I've learned how to better vet men, and that's how we keep body counts low. High standards prevent high body counts, or body counts in general. Some men may feel like she's not worth all that good. Those are the men to stay away from, and they won't bother you. Some men may feel like, I can't, reach that standard. Good. You don't ever have to worry about me sleeping with you. You know what I mean? And they'll complain, but you have to just be confident to know, like, anybody that complains about my standards is a red flag. I'm not meant to be with you in any kind of a way, because my standards are meant for protection. I did hear someone talk about that earlier, and it's unfortunate that a lot of women bash other women for having standards, or standards that are just too high, so delusional to someone else. But the point of having it is so that, men cannot easily assess you, to easily have access to your home and easily have access to your children. That's the whole purpose of having high standards. And three, sorry. Can women have bio women only spaces? I think we could and we should, and it's not wrong. And I think women who are not bio should stay out of it, because you just got here and you're still not all the way a woman at all. So you'll never fully understand our everything, you just look like us. I have a stud friend, and I do literally mean it's just a friend that knows she's still a woman at the end of the day. But those trans men, they get carried away. They want to just really dive into everything, So 4, can women have ex preferences? Are you mean like who we want to date?
Yeah. Like, like dating a bi man or something like that, or like you said, you don't want to, and you just want a straight man, or things like that.
Right. I think, yeah, if you want to, you can have a preference, but I mean, it's a free country, do what you got to do. But I think you should be prepared or aware that if you're dating a bi man, it's more than likely he's definitely going to cheat with either or. And that just raises a higher chance of catching stuff that you don't want. Drama, diseases, whatever. You can always get that if he cheats on you, period. But it's a high chance if he's bi. That means he's attracted to everybody and everything everywhere. And, the chances of you having a healthy relationship could be, could put a strain on stuff. Not feeling like you could trust somebody that is like that. Not land.
Okay. All right. Leah, thank you. Okay. So let me go up here to Jan.
Just gonna speak on like the can women have preferences? I think the better question will be, why would you want somebody who don't prefer you in a way? Like, why would you want to date somebody who you're sort of fighting or forcing them to change their belief? Because they're going to be resentful towards you. Like, why would you want to have someone who has some form of prejudice against you? Like, that's like, if you want to take it like a random example, it would be like if you're dating somebody outside your race, but they're racist. It's only a matter of time where it's going to come out. And it's just like, it's not a matter of whether you should be worried about who someone prefers to date. You want everybody to date who they like to date, because at the end of the day, it comes back to bite you in the ass. Because if you're dating someone who doesn't want you, they don't want you. You can fix it, put a bow on it. It's not going to change the preference. So it's not a matter of preference. It's like, you should go where you're wanted. Because if you go where you're not wanted, it's always going to come back, negative. It's never going to work out for you. And the fantasy is going to die at some point, and the realism is going to set in. If you date a guy who, you're not okay with him being attracted to the opposite sex or the same sex, it's not going to be a good ending for anyone in the relationship. So that's what I was going to add, especially when brought up the post that was posted. I was just thinking, like, it doesn't matter what is or isn't. Whoever you prefer is always going to work out. People think like you're being prejudiced because you don't want to date a certain kind of people, but there's a reason why those preconceived like biases are there. Because when you start dating that person, it's not a magical thing is going to happen. Like, oh my gosh, maybe I was wrong. No, they're there for a reason. You don't want to be around those kind of people.
Okay, I wanted to respond to I wanted to respond to Taffy in the comments, who said that like you guys act like straight men aren't burning you left and right. I don't know what you're talking about, number one, because I I'm just confused at what you're saying. Okay. I sent you a request to get in the box, but you're talking about the truth. If someone says their preference, that's their preference. If you say that straight men are burning women, okay, cool. If we're talking about a bi man, he could burn you as well. It's not like he isn't part of both sides of the coin. So I don't understand what you're talking about. And then this person here, Melanie, who said the host is very dangerous. She's misleading these black women when she's married. I would like to know what I said. I wasn't even speaking when you got in the live. What did I say to mislead anybody? I think that every black woman that comes in these lives that's listening, and all these black women that are speaking, sometimes we agree on certain things. Sometimes we might have a slightly different perspective, but all of these women that are up here are very intelligent and very independent of their own thinking and their own perspectives and what they view to be right, wrong, in between, moral, immoral, whatever. I'm not leading anybody anywhere. All I'm holding is the space. So I don't know what you're talking about. But I think that y'all got to get real with some of y'all that like y'all, because you're talking about Sage is married. I think that y'all got to get real on some of the women that y'all get mad at because they're married. Like I think that y'all got to stop projecting y'all bad experiences onto every single woman. Every single woman that's married is not getting beat on, cheated on, disrespected, abused. There are some women out there being treated like queens, and I, for the life of me, I just don't understand it. I don't want y'all to mute Melanie because I want to understand who she is and where she coming from, because I'm confused. Sometimes like I don't necessarily be upset by the things that people say. Like I'm trying to gain clarity because I know that you don't know me. And the fact that you went at several people that are married and that's what you're talking about, I'm confused, but I'm about to find your name up here, Melanie, and unmute you because I'm just like I said, I'm confused at what you're trying to say because nothing anyone said is wrong. And I find it to be odd that I say this all the time is that y'all are never comfortable with black women speaking unless black women are speaking in the exact way that you want them to speak. Whatever they're saying, they have to say exactly what is, I guess, the status quo of what black women are supposed to think and how they're supposed to feel. And I think that that's disgusting. You know what I'm saying? I really do. I think that's the problem that I have is that if black women don't think, feel, exist how you want, then they shouldn't exist at all. And that's the problem. And this other person, she could, the pick me's, I'm not quite for sure who you're talking to. You can let me know if you're talking to me or not, because I'm not a pick me. Let me go over here to Goldie. Just a second. Let me let Goldie speak. I'm sorry, Goldie been waiting for a minute. Go ahead, Goldie. And then after that, you guys, it can be open again for whoever wants to speak and speak. Go ahead, Goldie.
All
Oh,
right,
and then
y'all.
super villain.
So I definitely do feel like I relate to what Leah was saying. I feel like a lot of people, when they have kids, they don't realize it's a different type of commitment. You're not having a baby. You're not having somebody who's going to be here for a few months. You're having another human being. And I feel like it's a bigger commitment than it is, especially in this day and age where the economy is lower. We're in a current recession. I feel like a lot of people, they don't realize that it's going to take more out of them than just like the few months it is of infancy. So it's bigger than it is, and I feel like people should have that choice. So when we tell pregnant women, hey, like if you know you cannot provide for the child and you don't want them ending up in bad conditions, potentially inside foster care, which especially for Black women, since we're most likely to get sexually assaulted, and stuff like that. So I feel like we need to consider the risk and like the stuff that goes into foster care and the American system when we're considering a child, because it's not only what can I provide, it's what can I do to make sure the best conditions are placed on my child. And when you're not thinking that, and when you're not prepared at the moment to do so, I feel like then that's when the moment you have to be like, okay, I need to make sure that if I want to ever have children, I need to make sure I can provide the best for them I can. And if I can't, that means I can't provide the best for myself or my child. So they need to take that into consideration. So that's one thing, because I feel like people
I
are
want
like,
to
oh,
respond to that. I think I agree with you on making sure that you're prepared, when you're having a child, that you can give them the best life possible, even though I think that circumstances are never completely 100%
oh
perfect
yeah,
for you
totally.
to give life. But I do feel like if you're in a position where you feel like, if I have a child at this particular time, I'm going to have to terminate, then I don't think that you should respectfully be having intercourse at all. Because anytime you
Exactly.
have intercourse, there is a risk and a chance of you getting impregnated. Whether you use birth control, whether you use prophylactics, whatever. Now, most of the time, if you use these things, most of the time they're pretty much going to protect you. But just in case, you have to know that anytime you're having intercourse, there's a potential of you having a child. And if you cannot take care of a child, or you're not in this space to have a child, you shouldn't be opening your legs to anybody. And that goes to men and women. I think we always tell women to close their legs and things like that, but we never tell men that, because we just act like men are savages that are completely incapable of self-control. But I do feel like instead of you just having in the back of your mind that termination is an option, you should have in the back of your mind, let me just not do anything with anybody, because I'm not
Exactly.
in the state to have anybody. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And that leads me to my other point, before I land and dip. But I want to say the third point, the anatomy. I feel like that's so important to know, in general as women, because anatomy in that aspect is how, if we do want children, and as females, if we do want children, it's important to know these spaces, because no offense to the trans community, but if you do not have the experience with the anatomy as a female, there's certain experience that you will not relate to. And as a cis woman, there's certain experiences that I won't relate to trans women, And I feel like anatomy is so important to consider. There's a connection that we have with, oh yeah, I'm 18. Yeah. I forgot to put my age and pronouns beforehand. But yeah, I feel like it's really important to consider that anatomy is a shared community and space that we have in common as females. And if we do have, like, it's okay to have women's spaces, of course, gender only spaces. It's okay to have trans spaces, of course, but it's okay to have cis women spaces as well. And I feel like when we highlight the importance of cis women and, the struggles that we undergo and the experiences that we share, cis is, okay, let me just, people in the comments are confused, so let me just say that real quick. There's
No, you can stop right there. They know exactly what it is. They just don't like you using the term. They know
okay,
exactly what it is.
I'm gonna use it regardless, because that's a scientific term. People
Okay.
use whatever they want to use,
For
but
yourself, but
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
the women, exactly.
I
You
just
see, Trigger, how I do. This
yeah.
is why I
Uh,
do not like
just
liberal feminists.
just
This
one
is
second,
why.
T. I dropped her already. Once she started going off on that other tangent, it was like whatever. But I did want to respond real quick to two things. First of all, I want to respond to two things that I feel is very important. First of all, Milani, I don't know what you got going on, but you got one follower, and you got 30 seconds to get up in this box, or you getting blocked. It's just that simple. I don't know what you thought, but you're not gonna be in here talking crazy to everybody that's in the panel, and being too scared to get in the box and say it with your voice. So you got 30 freaking seconds to get in this box, Milani, or you're getting banned. That's it. Block for life. All right, you literally got 30 seconds. I don't care what excuses you talking about. I sent you a request for you to come on. You got 30 seconds to get up in here. If you don't come up here, I'm not even giving you 30. I'm going to give you 10. You got 10 seconds to get up in here. And I'm going to count it out for you or you're getting blocked. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's what I thought. You're a coward and respectfully a sucker or disrespectfully, however you want to take it. But I'm going to go ahead and block you and get you up out of here. Baby, follow. You say you would just follow my man. That is very funny. Enjoy. Go ahead, love. Block.
So
Okay, just 1 second. And then I wanted to respond to one more thing that was said when we were talking about like telling women not to engage in intercourse and stuff like that. I think that we never give people credit, men or women, on the ability to have self-control. And the reason why people don't have self-control is because it's something that we never require of people. We just say, oh, it's too difficult to not have intercourse. It's too difficult to not have intercourse with people and that you don't even see a future with, or before you're ready to take care of a child or to hold on to the responsibility. That is something that I feel is very problematic. Everybody has the capability of exhibiting self-control if they want to. You pick and choose how you want to control yourself every day. When somebody make you mad or a police officer stop you and give you a ticket and you're fuming with rage, you don't go and pull out the blick that you got in your glove compartment and pop them, or you don't smack them, or you don't mace them. Why? Because you know that if you lose control in that moment, there are serious consequences to it, right? When you're on the road and you get mad and you see somebody and you road raging, you don't go smash your car into theirs while you're going 100 miles an hour because you feel like if I do that, I may lose my life. So you control yourself. The reason why people don't control themselves when it comes to intercourse is because they feel like, simply put, they don't have to. They feel like, oh, it's no big deal. And that's because in society, we make it like it's not a big deal. When it is a big deal, it is a big deal to share energy with people. No matter what you say, sex is a very intimate act. It's a spiritual act. You can argue with your mama about that. And beyond that, it can create a person. So if you're not ready to create a person, instead of going to the chop shop, you could stop it before you have to put your body under that stress by not having intercourse. It's not that hard. I didn't lose my virginity until I was 25 and married. I was 25 years old. It is something that is doable. And I was super duper in a state of hormones going crazy and wanting to do something. And I never did because I had self-control. So I'm not here for the excuses that, oh, I can't. Oh, it's hard. It's only hard because your mama didn't tell you. It's only hard because society doesn't tell you. It's only hard because you didn't work on that way to control yourself. You can control yourself that way if you want to, because you control yourself that way in many other facets every day. If you're in shape and you work out and you make sure that you don't got a fat gut or you don't got fat arms, you do it every day. When you do that, however, you do this every day. If you got a skin routine and you make sure that you drink your water, you do your skin routine in the morning and the night, and you do it without fail, that's self-control. That's discipline. We all choose how we want to do it or not. And it's really just that simple. So I don't want to hear that BS that you can't do it. You can't stop. You can't not have intercourse with this man. You can't keep it tight and keep it together. You can. You just don't want to. And if you don't want to, that's fine. But whatever consequences come from that lack of self-control, that should be on you to bear. Not an innocent child. Not you having 20, 30, 40 abortions, 5, 10, you doing it over and over and over again because you can't control yourself. No, it's on you. And that's all I'm saying. Like, that's all I'm saying. But I'm gonna go ahead and go down here to super villain, and then I'm gonna go ahead and open it up for you guys. Okay? Go ahead, super villain.
Thanks, Triggered. And
No
y'all,
problem.
tap the screen up. Again, Triggered doing Mother Nature's work. We are grateful. We don't deserve you. I'm going to say this. I'm going to comment on a couple stuff, but I initially came up here to say I am somebody who, well, I'll start from here. I'm somebody who often it graces Triggered's live. Me and Triggered have totally opposite views when it comes to dating. She is a happily married woman. I'm a proud separatist feminist. And we constantly are in the same space, respect each other's boundaries, and have different viewpoints. So it's very possible. I think we need to normalize that we're not going to agree on everything as women, because we are human beings, but we can still occupy the same space, have respectful dialogue, and keep it moving. When Trigger talks about her husband, I am so happy for her. When I be on my men ain't shit, Trigger don't interrupt me, even though she got a man that's really about shit. And I know because he comes up here all the time and have her back. So I just want to throw it out there, especially in the space, because we have very few spaces, at least for me, where I can just be myself without judgment. Triggered offers that space, and I don't want it to go away. So y'all just gotta really respect boundaries. You can have your opinion, right? You just gotta respect her space. I don't do the religion thing. Trigger believes in religion, so I don't talk shit about religion when I'm in her space. I'll talk it outside of there. I have my little comments, but I just want to give an example that you can occupy a space where you don't 100% agree with the host or the panel, still get your point across, and still respect boundaries. Like, let's normalize that. We're grown people. We're human beings. We are women. It doesn't mean we're going to get along with every single thing. I wanted that to say that first because Triggered, I very much enjoy your space. I was actually kind of upset because I haven't seen you go live during my shift, and you get me through my shift, girl. I don't know what's been happening. You've been enjoying your life. I can't be mad at that. But I've been missing you for the past couple of days at work. I ain't gonna lie.
Thank
No.
you, thank you.
Just had to let you know. I got to recharge. I'll throw you some coins next time. I'm a little low on the recharge.
All right, no problem. All right,
So
were you done?
you
Go
know
ahead,
what?
Super
No,
Villain.
I'll spin the block. I just want to. That was the most important comment, to be honest. So I'll spin the block. I'll come back.
Okay. And I'm sorry, you guys. Cookie and I think it was someone else too that y'all wanted to speak. Let me just let this Mal person speak, and then I'm gonna let you guys go ahead, all right? And just have at it. Cause I'm not really good when it's like a lot of you guys, because I don't know how to really handle it, making sure all of you guys get a chance to speak when y'all want. Go ahead, Mal. 13911. Hopefully I said your name right.
Mayo.
Mayo?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Mayo.
I seen it was saying girl talk. I was just like really listening to y'all, but I was saying how you was like basically saying like it ain't hard. It's really not hard. Like I'm going through that right now. Like literally. Went through a long relationship, got out of the relationship, lost myself, found myself, and I really it's kind of like about myself. You know what I'm saying? It's not about all the old stuff that I used to do when I was a fool, and I thought everybody was rooting, like in the stands rooting for me. But everybody like a slam dunk. The whole everybody go cry the other team and my team. But I'm going through that kind of like now. I'm in a long distance relationship. You know what I'm saying? And I do step out. I do go to the club, and you know what I'm saying. People do hit on me. But if I hold a conversation with a female or anything, you know what I'm saying, it's like me pretty much praising my woman
Call them
in
women.
front of the female to let her know that, ain't nothing going on. If you waiting on me to ask you for your phone number, that ain't never gonna happen.
Okay.
Because I'm focused on what I'm focusing on. When you focus, you can stay down.
All right. Have a great day, Mal. I think that this is you. You don't understand what's going on with the live chat, the prompts. So I think I'm gonna keep going, move forward. Okay, you guys. It's open panel because I'm sorry, respectfully, Mal. Mayo. Yeah. Let me just keep going, y'all.
I ain't
Hey.
even go. I was like, sir, how you see it said girl talk and you still pressed the button and brought your ass up here to come and try to,
Well, he probably had a misconception
sir.
of something that he heard, and he probably thought we were pick me's and male centered.
Yeah.
But that's probably what it was. He probably heard something to where he used the word female, so I can guarantee you he deals with a lot of pick me's.
No.
Yeah.
Oh my
Cause
goodness.
he heard hold on,
Yeah.
say
As
I
soon as I
think
heard
Cookie.
female,
he
I think
heard
Cookie said
triggered.
she had something to say. Cookie, you had something to say, Cookie?
I did have something to say.
God damn it.
well,
I had
go ahead.
I had something to say as far as what Trigger was saying about her abstaining from
having relations. And I really feel like, personally, in my opinion, because my mom, she had my sisters do abstinent, like the purity stuff, like two of them, she had them do it. And I feel like because of their results, she didn't feel like she had to put it on me and my other two sisters. But I really do wish that she would have took that route with us, because I feel like I would have been more open to it. I can't say nothing about my other sister, but I feel like if we would have went the purity route, and if parents were more into teaching their daughters to abstain and talking to their children about, what could come of that, I feel like that is kind of the key to things. As far as in a religious perspective, I don't know as a non-religious perspective, but I feel like in a religious perspective that would help, like bringing purity rings back and bringing little girls back into, understanding why they should be waiting for marriage and why it's important. Like, nobody's saying that marriage is foolproof and that you won't end up a single parent, but I think that it kind of helps, a younger mind understand that the responsibility that comes with it. And I feel like we kind of lost that as a community, to like teaching girls
Hey,
to
Cookie.
abstain.
I just wanted to say to you, I am a person that believes in God and Christ and all of that, but I don't mean it from a religious perspective at all. I mean it strictly for a protection perspective for women. That's what I mean it for. Even if you, let's say, you don't believe in God at all,
Yeah, but I feel
you
like,
just want to live your
religion
life.
is
I
protection.
still believe abstinence and abstaining from intercourse until you find who you're going to be with, like if you want to be with for the rest of your life, is the best way to go. Because men are, for the most part, I'm sorry, I think the collective of men are disgusting creatures, and that's the best way I feel to protect yourself as a young girl, as a woman. So it doesn't have nothing to do with religion in my eyes. Like, I just want to say that it has nothing to do with religion at all.
Yeah, no, no, no. I was just saying in a religious person scheme. I'm just saying that, I feel like if you are religious, that you should go that way, because I do feel like what you're saying too, as far as the protection and to keep, girls more protected and understanding what is really going on as far as our bodies and autonomy and how that comes off in the world, because I feel like I was neglected at that part. I'm talking about personally, as far as being understanding to men in their perverted ways, because I feel like a lot of societies has ignored how perverted men are and how acceptable it is now in society.
Is this open? Or are we still
Go ahead,
discussing?
sis. Go ahead, Joker.
Okay. Okay. So having the profession that I actually, do have, and while yes, I am with everybody, I do believe keep, hey, lock your knees, right? Lock your knees and figure out what you want in life first and do all of that. My thing is that I do understand that even with all of it, we can, what I'm saying, bear it all the way down to the ground and drill it and drill it and drill it. And what my thing is what do we do after? When I said it's not that simple, I simply meant that people are still going to make decisions regardless of how much we continue to push and push and push. Because one thing that we're not pushing forward when we're telling young women to keep their legs closed, we're not talking about why, right? We're not, and in fact, I don't even really like the why, because when you do whys, you literally leave it open for, what I'm saying, everything else. So instead of having the real conversation, besides that, men ain't shit, hey, got that, they know that shit and everything else, we don't ever focus on what exactly keeping my legs closed really means to me, for me, as me, and how it benefits me. And when we don't do that and we just be like, hey, keep legs closed because men ain't shit. And, you don't want to get a baby. You know what I'm saying? So we try to use like the fear tactics and stuff like that or whatever. And they're just like, well, damn, okay, I don't want to get a baby. I don't want to catch an STI. Men ain't, men aren't poo poo or whatever. Sorry for this. I didn't mean to disrespect you by cussing. My apologies. And men are poo-poo and everything else. And then they're still sitting there without even understanding the real reason, right? For not sitting here going and opening your legs. Yeah, it all that other stuff goes along with that. But what we also don't do is once they do it, once they say, okay, you know what, hey, Once they say, okay, you know what, hey, whatever, self-control ran out the way. Now, for grown women, I think it's a little bit different, right? For grown women, it's a little bit different. When we're talking to teenage girls, however, that is that particular concept. So once they do it, you know what I'm saying? It's the follow-up behind that. Instead of, okay, well, open your legs now and, all the blame if they ended up with a baby and everything else. So for me, when I say that it's not that simple, that's what I mean by it's not that simple for teenage girls. Grown women, it should be, right? But for teenage girls, because again, we never ever and if anybody worded us really, and I'll tell y'all, I don't care, because what you're gonna do, come back and come get me. I'm a sex therapist, right? So part of my thing is education, the whole freaking thing, right? And again, when we are going through, we have the program Wait Before, it's that religious program that I think is just trash or whatever, because you know what I'm saying, they're trying to run everything under a religious sect or whatever, and then kind of still put it under the fear of, if you have SMEX or whatever, you know what I'm saying, you can go to hell, all this other stuff or whatever, and Wait Before Marriage, I think that's the name of it or whatever. And again, we're still dragging marriage into the concept. We're not talking to these girls as autonomous sexual human beings. We're not explaining to them about how to understand their body, how to understand all of the, moans and groans and feelings and everything else that comes along with it when they out there humping pillows and they can't figure out, why all of a sudden now during the luteal phase and, other phases and stuff like that.
Yeah, Joker, I just want to say, be clear when I say this. I'm not no prude at all by any means, shape, form, or fashion. I believe that X is a very natural part of life. Sexual desires, your hormones going crazy. I like my back broken just like everybody else does. But I do think that, just because we may have urges to do something at a younger age, there's still nothing wrong with, yes, you can educate somebody on what happens if you've already made the mistake. But if you're trying to avoid somebody from making certain choices, then the first plan of attack is to stop them from going down the road in the first place with the proper education as to why they shouldn't, or why they should wait, or why they should abstain. But absolutely, you don't want to leave somebody out here hanging and not being aware at all of their sexuality. And I just want to respond to somebody in the comments down below. Taffy, I don't know if you a stud or what. I don't know what you got going on, what you talking about, respectfully, the nature of men and all of this other stuff. I don't know if you like a Princella follower or whatever, but I'm really not trying to be you know what I'm saying, funny with you, but because I think that's what you are. I find it so weird that a lot of y'all demonize men and talk about, oh, you got a man, you with a man. Oh, I can't even talk to you because you entertain a man, but you trying to be one. Make it make sense. Do you really dislike them that much when your whole persona is built on emulating what you seen them do? Huh? So please kindly get the heck up out my life, for real, before I hurt your feelings, because I'm not here to talk to nobody that's deranged and confused. Okay? You're deranged and you're confused. You hate men, but you got on a whole male outfit. Okay, get your life together. Do you like them or not? You know what I'm saying? I could have respect what you was saying if you was film. You know what I'm saying? Or even at the bare minimum, a STEM. But you trying to be a man and then saying that you mad because somebody else is talking to men, you're delusional. Let me block. I don't want to straighten you out at all. The only thing I'm about to do is block you. Bye-bye, Taffy. Have a great day. You can take that confusion and delusion somewhere else. Okay, goodbye.
But Trigger,
go ahead, Joker, because that's just crazy. How dare you? You think you gonna shame me for having a man and you trying to be one? Girl, if you don't kindly kiss my whole behind, bro.
You wasn't done. Go ahead, Joker. And you know what else? Now I'm gonna see. I'll wait until you let me know. Hold on. Hold on. Go ahead, Joker. Okay. Oh, okay, girl. I got you. Not that I forgot to add that in part, and why are you still here? Oh, that was funny. That was funny right there. And again, like I said, this is not an excuse, and it has nothing to do with prudes or anything. And I wasn't, responding to you. I'm simply saying that, again, because that's what I said. We don't break down the why outside of all of the horrible consequences. We don't teach them about their bodies, right? We don't do any of that, right? We don't teach them when they start feeling all of this, when their emotions start getting high, and you start coming around your first period, and you out there humping the bedpost, the bunny, or whatever the heck it is that y'all, I'm saying, the folks be, and like I said, these are for young women, not grown women, right? I'm just simply speaking about young women. Is that again, we skip past literally having that conversation with them. We skip over the conversation about smasturation or whatever, because we don't want to be the person to have to talk about that, because we think that that's going to lead them into wanting to, quote unquote, have sexual intercourse and everything else. So we literally go past everything. And I'm like, that's part of the problem. And that's why it's not so simple, because when we have conversations about abstinence, we don't focus on the joy of it. We don't talk to them about how, your emotions are starting to change, and this is what comes up with it. And these are the way to navigate, right? Navigate through these particular things. And that even if you should decide, and I hope that you wouldn't, but if you decide that abstinence is not for you, that you understand what occurs once you choose to let somebody into your body, temple, whatever folks like to call it, right? And those are the things that we just don't do. So we give them all of the acts, but we never sit down and have all of the lower conversations that actually make the most sense. Okay, so this is your body. Eventually, you got a ting-a-ling-a-ling. You're going to start feeling this way. You're going to go from agape love and all of that other stuff, and you're going to start feeling, a little bit more tingly in these areas, and this particular stuff is going to start occurring. And that's just something that we simply do not do. And that's why, when it comes down to it, people think that all I got to do is just tell you to be abstinent, and that, if you if you have sex, you can get, pregnant, you can get an STI. Men don't really want you. That's
Hey,
all they
Joker.
want.
I
Go
just
ahead,
want to
honey.
interject and say, I definitely agree with what you're saying, that the other part needs to be aware too. But that might have been why, I was really successful, because my parents, they did tell me about the other things too. They told me about all of it. You know what I mean? I would say my father did more of the talking about it, because my mom was more like, I don't really want to talk to her about that. It makes me uncomfortable. My father didn't have any problem telling me about all of those things. So I definitely do think that you're right in knowing that the person needs to know everything. They need to know what they're going to experience. They need to know all of those things too. Because I will say that my dad definitely talked to me about all of that. And so I was aware of everything that was about to occur when it was occurring and stuff like that. And I wasn't made to feel like, like you were talking about, a lot of things were not, so embarrassing or taboo to talk about. So I definitely agree with you
Yeah, that's
in
it.
what you were saying, for sure. Yeah.
That's it.
Super
That's
villain.
all.
Oh, so well, I'm sorry. Was you done, Joker?
Just no. So, and yeah, that's just my only thing, that when it comes down and we're just pushing and pressing that, absence is the way. Because like I said, you got the way, and I got things I got to talk to you before. I got to talk to you before. I got to talk to you during, and I got to talk to you after. And those are the things that we don't, wholeheartedly focus on. But I'm gonna give it up to Miss Supervillain, because I always love listening to Supervillain.
All right. Okay, go ahead, super villain.
Okay, thanks. And wow, Joker, I did not know you was a SMEX therapist. That's good to know. I did want to say people are complex. I was impressed when you said that you held out till you were 25, triggered. I'm gonna say this as somebody and I'm not saying I know everything, but I have been celibate for the last 15 years, going on 15 years. People are complex, because although I've kept a long time of my young adult life celibate, I was busting it open at 16. Like, please believe, don't think I was, you know what I mean? Like, I had sex very young. I also only had one partner. So again, my sexual history is complex. I started out very young. I went celibate very young at 21. I don't have much experience as well, like as in partners. So when we are talking about SMEX, I think we have to remember that people's just their experience is very complex. Like you would assume somebody who started young has a lot of partners. You would assume somebody who waited a long time isn't that much experience. Like it can go any way. And I also want to throw in, I was raised by my single dad. That nigga taught me he is the reason why I am a feminist. I tell you all the time, he raised me to be a strong black man with a capital K. Okay? The first 15 minutes that nigga let me outside. I told you it was 16, and that's when I started doing it. So your parents could be involved. Your father can teach you everything he know. It is really up to the individual. When we have this next talk, I think the most important thing, I agree with what Joker was saying earlier, to educate. Again, we come from all different walks of life. We're going to have different sexual experiences. Mine is complex in its own self, right? And I can say I was very educated by my dad. Again, he taught me everything. He told me he's the reason why I'm like the way I am when it comes to these dudes. And I still, you know what I'm saying, got caught out there very early, had a baby at 19. So it just really depends on the individual. But the more knowledge you have, I think the better it is. I think we have to, it's a fine line of making women comfortable with their sexuality while not promoting them to be sexually active. I think that's the line where we got to figure out. I don't know what it is. Again, I don't claim to know everything, but I think that's very important. I currently have a child who's turning 16. You know, I'm sweating bullets every day because y'all, I was a sneak. I was a sneak at this age. Oh my God. And you know, they say the kids get weaker and wiser. So I am on my daughter like white on rice, and it reminds me that my father was on me the same way, and I was still a sneak, y'all. Let me mute. I'm having a moment. Thank you.
All right, I'm gonna end this live pretty soon anyway. I'm gonna go over here to Leah though, and then after that T, and then make sure everybody got a chance to speak. Go ahead, Leah.
Yeah, I just wanted to add to what the ladies were saying about the conversation with your kids. I think when it comes to younger women, you know, maybe a few of us did grow up with Lil Kim and Trina and all that and Foxy Brown. I don't know why, but I do feel like today's women are a bit more aggressive with it. Like they're just straight to the, you know. And so I'm gonna say this. You could talk to your kid just like a supervillain said. You could talk to your blue in the face. If your kid wants to do it, they are going to do it, regardless of whatever kind of restrictions you could put up. I grew up in the church house. You know how many stories I heard of the kids having their first, and we had a whole ceremony about being worth the wait. And, you know, the same girls that were, you know, having their rings put on by their parents were literally the same women that, girl, I had my first, you know, literally a month or two later. And so I think what helps me is the fear of knowing that it's painful. What did help me abstain for, you know, the time period that I did was the fact that I knew it hurted. And I don't like pain. I don't think anything that's pleasurable should cause pain. I think, though, if we're thinking about the mind of a youth, it's more so about peer pressure and having the strength and the confidence to fight peer pressure and pressure from social media. The music that these kids are like literally diving into is the music like Sexy Red and Big Lotto and all that stuff. They have it in their heads. If a man pays for something, I just automatically supposed to spread it. No. That's not how that works. So I think in addition to everything of, you know, just educating them what happens to their bodies before and after, or, you know, having the conversation of just knowing that you're worth the wait, have the conversation of, you know, it's okay to say no to your man. It's okay to say no in general to anything. It's okay. You're not missing out on anything. It's not worth your time right now. You're literally not missing out on anything. They're just promoting it because men enjoy it way more than women do, period. It's going to always be that way until your body opens up and naturally just can, you know, accept it. But it's always better to do with someone when you are married. Because that's how, you know, this man is willing to literally lose his life for you, you know, for the most part. But I think we should just really, you know, take into account of it's okay to say no. For adults, I think that, some women do have a hard time telling their partner no because they're too worried about him cheating or leaving. And you have to be a secure woman enough to know if he leaves, you're not missing out on anything, because what's meant to be will be regardless. Some older women, they feel their clock going off and all that stuff. The body clock. We shouldn't be, if anything, that body clock should go off on, like, okay, did you meet all your, careers? Did you go to school? Did you, do all of that stuff? Did you pursue all your goals in your life and your passion? Is your clock going off for that stuff too? Did you see all the countries you wanted to see? Or are you just worried about being, next to a man like forever? Like, there are more important things than marriage. I'm not saying it's not important, but there are more important things about you as an individual than laying down with a man. All the media and everything else is all supposed to program us to feel like we're obligated to, intertwine with a man for the rest of our lives, or for any point if they ask, or if they're, desiring you. But nothing is going around saying have boundaries, have standards, have morals, pursue your dreams, educate yourself. It's okay to be alone. Be okay with yourself. Be okay with being alone. And you will have a lower body count. Maybe even no body count, but that's okay too. Just put yourself first and be selfish with your time and your body. You have to be, to protect yourself. And I land. Thank you for allowing me to be here, Ms. Trigger.
Oh, no problem, Leah. All right, I'll go up here to T. Did you have anything to say, T, before we get on out of here?
Yeah, well, I was gonna say real quick regarding to the video that the picture I posted. It wasn't about preferences. It was basically what the terminology of, or the saying, the quote, "It's all men until it's none." So that's why I put it like that. Like,
Okay.
basically, I'm saying anyone can practice misogyny. Anyone could be misogynistic. Because, as I always say, misogyny doesn't have a gender. Misogyny doesn't have a sexual orientation. Misogyny is misogyny. And that's what is the biggest enemy that we are facing in this society, is misogyny. So that was why I put that there. I wish I would have saw that live, because they totally got to misconstrue. It was kind of like a response also to Dolce when she said straight men are a red flag, and I'm saying all of them is a red flag. Like, all of them. Every man can be a red flag, no matter what he identifies as, no matter what his sexual orientation is. Hold just 1 second.
Okay. Yeah, I remember what you talking about what Dochi said, and I thought that was pretty stupid as well. You know what I'm saying? Because she said that she likes a good bi man, but a bi man likes women too, so he could
Right.
be just as bad. Like, what are you talking
Exactly.
about?
That's me. That's me using my logic. Like, any man can be a red flag. That's not straight. That's
Yeah.
not lead these women astray. Because let's keep it a buck. A lot of the men that we be arguing with online be on the down low. So we can't even say G men are safe either. Just because a man is feminine, that do not mean that he is safe. You know
But
what
I'm
I'm saying?
curious, because I didn't hear the statement and I really didn't try to examine it that much. I'm curious, what's her context? And I wish she would expound upon it. I'm curious, is her context that bi men are more honest as far as their sexuality goes, right?
I think she was
Versus,
just saying they're better men because they're probably more in touch with their feminine side. That's the vibe I got from
that's some,
from
oh, well,
watching
that's some
her talking.
bullshit. That's some bullshit. Oh, okay. Well, my fault then, because I was like, oh, wait, hold on, because I ain't gonna hold you. Look, I take a bi man, right? That's me. I take a bi man. You know what I'm saying? I can see the purpose behind it. Like I said, I just don't understand where where her context is coming from. And I really ain't even gonna go that far into it. She a superstar. I don't care. They be saying some of the off the wall ass shit or whatever. And then we be falling out about it, and we just keep buying their shit, and they just going about their business.
Could you explain, Miss Joker, though, why you would take a bi man? I'm curious to hear your answer.
I've always wanted 2 men at one time. Like, in my polyandric mind.
Oh, so you want him bi, or you want him straight but into you? And you just want two guys.
If I have, you know what I'm saying, two men, they can both be straight or they can, you know what I'm saying, be bi. I don't have an issue with bi men or whatever. If I'm getting what
So
I
you're
need,
okay with a man kissing another man in front of you
yes.
too?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So that stuff doesn't
And
bother
there's
Hey, whatever,
no
whatever floats her boat. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that's what she
are
likes, that's
you
what she likes. You know.
I don't think
are
anybody,
you
no, I don't think anybody's trying to be like, oh, that's not, because I mean,
no.
I'm just
I never
saying.
heard a woman say I've never heard a woman say I'll take, like I'll date a bi man, but I know it happens. I know it's there. I
They
just
say it
never
very
hear it.
boldly. Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
no,
Oh wow.
I the
Yeah.
spaces or the places I'm at, I guess on the regular, or the things I hear on the regular, I don't often hear or always hear that. So I'm just curious to know, why would you accept it? Because I don't often hear about it. You say you're okay with two men kissing each other. You don't feel no type of way. Is it because do you not want to be is it because you're okay with not being the only person,
If
like
I'm in
the
a,
apple of their eye?
I
Like
believe
that's comfortable?
that, you know what I'm saying, I believe that I can love multiple people, right? Who gets the
Okay.
most love, how all of that goes down, everything else or whatever. I'm not interested, you know what I'm saying, so much so in being with just one person, right? Some of us
Mm-hmm.
like to lie to ourselves, and that honestly is, a lot of people just be lying because they don't want to, you know, they don't want people to try to, you know what I'm saying, examine their, you know, where they're coming from or anything else like that. I am honest with myself, right? I don't really feel like I have a what's the word? One-on-one person bone in my body. I just don't. I mean, I've learned that about myself. I know that about myself. I really do like to be, I like multiple people, and I want to be able to have access to multiple people at one time, simply because I just don't, committed. That's the word I'm looking for. I'm just not a, you know, commitment person. And that's
I
just
figured
me.
it was something about relationship. You don't take relationships that serious, so
Hold
you're okay with
on. Trigger's
just.
trying to get out of here, and I just want to say something really quick. I know we can tend to go off. She did say she wanted to
Oh
leave.
yeah, yeah.
I just wanted to say really quickly to the Dolce thing, Trig, that I had an issue with. When she said straight men are a red flag. I like to remind women oftentimes that the red flags that we see in quote unquote straight men are actually DL men presenting as straight. So they are part of the LGBT community, even though they're DL. They cannot express how they really feel. And I want women to recognize that, because for some reason, being part of the LGBTQ, and I add DL because they're part of the community, people feel that they are safer. That's why I say all men, even feminine men, even men who identify as women, can be harmful. And you can be harmful, men are harmful to women outside of romantic relationship and outside of violence. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Like in Congress, a lot of these men who are voting against women's autonomy are DL. They are just straight presenting, right? A lot of these men are engaged with DL relationships. These men who are openly, I don't know if we can say gay on here, openly gay, and know that these men are going back to their wives or girlfriends and don't say anything. They keep their secret. That's harmful. So when I say all men, I mean straight men, hetero men, gay men, men who identify as women. They are all harmful to women. And I think just making the emphasis on straight men is very dangerous. It's actually backward advocating, because, again, all groups of people have problematic people. And to just disregard people being problematic because they're in a quote unquote certain community, it's really, that's dangerous. So I just want to throw that out there. That's the issue I had with that statement, because at the end of the day, when I say it's all men, I actually believe that shit. I'm not just talking about it.
Okay.
Triggered. I know you're trying to get out of here.
Oh, no problem, supervillain. I appreciate you. Leah and Joker, I didn't want to cut y'all in y'all conversation. Y'all still expounding? Were you still expounding?
She was going in to just explaining to me why she's okay with two men being, together in front of her, or not, because and you correct me if I'm wrong, Miss Joker, but you said it's because you don't really care for a relationship. Like, you care, but you don't, I guess, for lack of better words, you don't put all your apples in the basket. You don't put all your emotions into it. So you're open to whatever, because it's whatever.
I don't have, I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't follow monogamy, right? Monogamy is just not right. Monogamy is not for me. I love it for
Oh no,
everybody else.
I'm not worried about you wanting two people, but it's
Yeah.
two men that are bisexual that
Mhm.
you want. That's
Yes.
my curiosity. But you could I could probably DM you. I know she's trying to
Yeah.
go
Yeah. I was about to
because
say,
I'll
you can DM
probably
me,
just have
mama.
more questions. Huh?
Yeah. You can DM me, mama. That's fine.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, okay,
Okay,
because
you guys
I
have
did
a
not, because I don't want it to, because I want this live to be a safe space for Black women of like
yeah.
of all thought processes and stuff like that, and whatever, like I always try to say this, like I would love for my lives to be a safe space for Black women, and even if I agree or disagree with whatever, I don't care, because I just want every Black woman to be happy authentically, however they want to live. So I just want to make sure that Joker doesn't feel, you know what I'm saying, like judged or picked apart or anything,
Yeah.
Oh no.
so it's all love, Joker, and we may have different thoughts on different things, but I still respect you, and I respect your thoughts and how you want to live your life. I think every Black woman, the biggest gift that we can have is just that we all are happy and we all can live how we want to. So I just want you to know that coming from me
Oh,
specifically.
thank you, Trigger. No, I know. Trust. I mean, I don't know if you've ever seen me anywhere else. I can't be judged. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel judged. I wouldn't have opened up if I felt
Okay.
like I
Okay.
wouldn't have been able to express myself. Because again, I ain't worried about how nobody feels about it, because they got to go to bed tonight with that. I'm gonna go to bed good. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Okay.
I'm gonna go to bed good in my decisions and stuff like that. But I really do appreciate that coming from you. I don't feel
Okay.
like people are picking me apart, because you
Okay.
can't. Yeah, you know what I'm
I
saying?
just
I
want to
can't pick
make
Yeah,
you
sure.
apart. Yeah,
I
I
just wanted to
appreciate
let you know
that.
I was not picking you apart, but I have not heard that, and I moved to a whole nother state where I found out that the poly world does exist. So I'm learning, not judging, but learning, like, oh, this is because of this and because of that. Like, it's good. I like to know stuff, because I like to be educated on
I
stuff,
got you,
not
Leah.
so I could,
I got you.
yeah,
I think, Leah, you're just being curious. But I respect
yeah,
all of you
very,
guys.
very. I
Yeah,
have a
I
small,
don't take it
small
personal.
question though, Miss Joker. You're not by any chance a Leo or or Scorpio, are you?
No, I'm a Capricorn.
Oh, okay, okay. Oh, okay. Because I'm like, I know a lot of Leos that like that lifestyle too, with their little
Yeah, no, I'm
horny
a
selves.
Capricorn.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
I'm a
right.
Capricorn. I
Thank you. You have
appreciate
a
it though,
good one, you
ladies.
guys.
All
Thank you,
right, you
Trigger.
guys. Oh, no problem. I appreciate all of you ladies for coming up, and I just want to say I love y'all, all of you guys, and hopefully I was a good host today. I know it was a lot of everybody, so I wasn't the best with making sure that everybody could get an equal chance to speak. But I appreciate all of you ladies. I love all of y'all. And my biggest goal is just to have a safe space for Black women where we can all talk and bounce ideas and opinions off of each other. And even if we disagree, at the end of the day, we can still come together and love on each other, as sisters. And because like I think it was Supervillain that was saying, like, we're not always gonna agree on everything. We just not. We're all individual Black women with our own thoughts, experiences, things that have shaped us and our mentalities and things like that. So not everything is going to be equal all the time, or we're not all going to be on board with everything, but then everything is all good. You know what I mean? So I just want y'all to know, appreciate you, Coach T. Appreciate you, Supervillain. Appreciate you, T. Appreciate you, Joker. Appreciate you, Leah. Appreciate you, Jan. Appreciate you, Sage. Dag, I really feel like I'm forgetting somebody. Anybody else that came up, I really just want y'all to know, charge it to my head and not my heart. And I really appreciate you guys. And if you're a Black woman and you're listening to this, I just want you to know that you're awesome, amazing, special, valuable, all of that. And don't let nobody tell you different. And I hope that you have a great rest of your week. All right. So Jan Love too. Yep. And Jan Love. And I appreciate all of you guys. So I'll see y'all later. I'm going to try to come back in the morning with something different if I can. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all later. Thanks so much, Coach D.